Bethany Manctelo here. Welcome to our Millwall Fan Show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to the 24-25 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talkings, our Millwall Fan Show. I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of George Lampey, Dave Hart and Debbie Julians.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
It's Palace away on Saturday, March the 1st at Sellers Park in the 5th round of the FA Cup. The date and time may be altered to meet the needs of broadcasting companies. And the Stoke City game has also been brought forward by a few hours to 12:30 for Sky Sports, for them to broadcast it and do the fans in. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, because that's obviously the Millwall Community Trust Community Day, so we'll ask Sean whether that's going to affect the plans for that day, but we're giving it away there. Evening everyone, evening Dave.
Evening Myles.
Dave, thoughts on that result at Leeds in the FA Cup?
Oh, fantastic. It was the game, and it was really a surprise. New signings played very well, settled in straight away, and we pressed from the off and got the result that we all wanted. Absolutely great.
Indeed. Debbie, good evening.
Good evening.
You followed the FA Cup with your father and Millwall. What makes it unique for you?
Oh, well, it is unique. I mean, it's absolutely unique. It's football. To me, it was with my dad, of course. It was everything. It was absolutely everything. Bearing in mind, my dad then, when did it? The Premiership didn't start till 92, 93, and my dad passed away in 93. We lost Daddy in 93. So really, that's particularly all my dad knew. And in 1967, of course, is when we drew with Tottenham, and we had to do a replay. And in those days, we wouldn't have had that. In today's world, we wouldn't have had that replay. And going back to there, that was the 28th of January, 1967, and the kickoff was at 3:15 p.m. and we had that at the Den. And we drew 0-0, 0-0 at the Den. And we played very, very well. And then we had that replay on the 1st of February at 7:30 in Tottenham. And my dad was a Tottenham boy. That's where he came from. But his heart was always with Millwall. And they played very, very, very well. And you've got to bear in mind, in those days, Tottenham was its heyday, and so was Millwall. I mean, we were a very, very special team, and that was the day of the 59 games of unbeaten games at home. And it was a very, very special time. And so we unfortunately lost 1-0, and we were very, very lucky. Well, we would never have had those replays, but it was just a special time. And in those days, of course, we only had the live game on TV. We had the FA Cup was the club game. And it was only then the international games were the only games that we had live on TV. And it was just so, so special. And that was the days of Ron Greenwood, Terry Venables and George Graham. And it just so, so special. I could go on. I've only got 2 minutes at the moment, but I could go on and on and on about the FA. And I'm sure everyone else tonight on the panel could. And, and we had on that particular night with Tottenham, we had Tommy Wilson there, Billy Neal, Harry Cripps, obviously my dad, Laurie Leslie was in goal, wasn't he? And just special times. And the FA Cup is always special.
Yeah,
I agree. And I won't get into the scrapping of the replays because we could be here all night discussing that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. George, good evening, mate.
Hello, Myles.
After defeating Leeds in the 4th round of the FA Cup, what about the 5-1 defeat of Plymouth?
Can I just say, who's ever written this out, Dave gets to talk about our great victory at Leeds. Debbie talks about this most marvellous game her dad played at Tottenham, at our place, and then at Tottenham, which I saw both of them, which were fantastic games, possibly the best games of football I've ever seen. I get to talk about Plymouth away, 5-1. I've got the rough deal here, haven't I?
Talk to HR, mate.
Yes. Actually, talking about that replay there, but old White Hart Lane, on the Monday night that was, because we didn't wait ages after the replays. That was on the Monday night. There was 20,000 locked outside of Tottenham, and I managed to bunk in. But don't let anyone from Tottenham know, because they might charge me.
Fantastic.
And I'm sure my mate Dave weren't far away. Right, the other night, 5-1. Well, it was after the Lord Mayor's show, I think. As Dave said, we did so well at Leeds, played so well as a team. He only changed a couple of positions, didn't he, the other night, I believe? But it just looked from the off. And all right, you have a bad start, you let in an own goal. But it just seemed a very poor performance. And one of the rare things for us is that our defence looked really weak for a change. And it never does. It's strong, stands up to everything. But I thought the other night they looked a little bit of a shadow of what they normally are. And I know people say this, and I don't normally agree, but I think that's one that we have to put behind us and look forward to Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed. On the Plymouth game, I really don't think Liam Roberts should have been dropped, to be honest with you. What do you guys think?
There's so many things you can say about that, Myles. Why didn't Aziz start?
I kind of get the Aziz
one. Connery in the middle. Yes.
I kind of get the Aziz one, Dave, because he's obviously just come back from quite a bad injury, I think. So I think to play him in both games, quite, about 3-4 days apart, it would be quite challenging for him. But I get where you're coming from. I
mean, it's a little bit. 2 goals, he must have been buzzing.
I mean, look how well Harding played at right back. I like, Crammer, but I thought Harding was just excellent at Leeds.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We'll take a break there and hear about our sponsors, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julians here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 81 3562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie. Lions together.
Our first guest of the evening is well known. Chris Bethel, who produces the Fans programme, described him as having so much going on that he could not keep up with it all. Famous for making a difference to taking challenges on, it's the CEO of our Millwall Community Trust. Say hello, Sean Daly.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're well.
Good evening, Sean.
Sean, it's great to have you back on the show, mate. Firstly, how did the new Employability Skills Hub launch go on match day against UPR? And were there the EFL there for the initiative?
So the whole idea of it was that we've during the week we've got like a drop-in centre for young people to come in for like a job centre, but we don't really open it on match days. So we decided, look, there's like 15,000 people coming into the game. You know, if we could have like an employment hub actually in the stadium, then that'd be a great way of attracting more people onto that programme. So by the bag drop, the MSC were using that information place. So we've taken that over now, and we're going to use that on every match day as an employment hub. Have some agencies there, people turn up, and then what they can do is we can signpost them to any jobs in the local area, whether it's construction, retail, anything that's going on around there. So we just thought it was a great way of just extending the work we're doing in the Lions Centre. The EFL weren't there for that. They were here really to cover the Jimmy's Day. The EFL and Sky were with us on the Thursday for the Jimmy Mizzen Cup with the schools. And then what they did was to cover that as well. So on the 22nd of February, our highlights of Jimmy's Day and the Jimmy's Cup is going to be on their show. So that's what they were there for.
I really do think both are just fantastic, Sean. Really great.
Thanks, Debbie.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, you just said it. I was going to say it's Debbie here, but thank you. This Saturday's match against West Bromwich Albion will see Millwall Football Club playing with the EFL and Puma's Rainbow Ball. Sorry, I'll start again there, Sean. Sorry, I got that completely mixed up. Here we go. I was too excited about what you were talking about. This Saturday's match against West Bromwich Albion will see Millwall's Football Club playing with the EFL and Puma's Rainbow Ball as part of Football's versus Homophobia initiative. Could you share how this will come about?
Yeah, so every year the EFL dedicate a game, or you have to dedicate a game to a themed game. So LGB month. So what they do is they ask you that you dedicate a game to that cause. So if you remember a few years ago, they used to do rainbow laces, and all the players used to wear rainbow laces on that game. Yeah. They stopped doing that because a lot of the players were wearing slip-on boots, so they couldn't wear the laces. So what they then brought out was they brought an armband out for the captain, like a rainbow armband. But they really wanted to show that all the players were behind a cause or highlighting the LGB month. So they brought out the corner flags as well. So the corner flags would be rainbows. So what they decided about 2 or 3 years ago, they decided that they would produce a ball that was used only on that themed game. So our themed game is West Bromwich Albion. They'll use that rainbow ball for that game. And then the 12 balls that have been given to us by EFL, we then give them every year to the Romans, and then Romans use them as their balls for the whole of the rest of the season for their league. But that's how it's come around, really. They sort of went for the laces. The laces were okay, and then the players sort of changed to slip-on boots.
Right, that's good. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and what will happen is we'll donate them to the Romans, and the Romans will carry on using them for the rest of the season.
Yeah, brilliant.
Hi, Sean. It's Dave here.
Hi, Dave.
Under our Millwall Community Trust umbrella, the Millwall Lionesses, Millwall Romans and Pride teams participated in February activities for the football versus homophobia response in the past. Are they or others doing anything like this year?
Yeah, so the Romans and the Lionesses will be at the game on Saturday. The Romans have been quite proactive. They've been sort of like named as like grassroots champions for the LGB month. So that's on their sort of on the website around them. The Romans will be there. They're giving out some awards to some of the partners that they work with at the game. But they'll be around at the game on Saturday.
Good.
Watch your Sean, it's George here.
Hi, George.
Hello, mate. We've had a few inquiries about your half-term football camps and when and where they will be advertised. Do you have any news on them, and will you be doing some of those in the northwest Kent area?
So the two venues we're going to be doing for February half-term, which is next week, is going to be the Lions Centre and St Paul's. We're not doing anything in Kent because we couldn't secure a venue that's got cover because we're concerned that the weather may turn during the half-term. So we need to be able to take the children in somewhere. So we'll only be doing the Lions Centre and St Paul's. So it's on our website. I think there's a few places left now, not many, but it's only those two sites this half-term. But Easter we'll be doing like a full range of venues and down in Kent for Easter.
Yeah, because you're not going to miss out on your Kent stuff.
Oh no! We've been making a foothold in Kent now, so we're doing some work with the London Golf Club as well at the moment. So no, we're still continuing with Kent.
Hi Sean, it's Dave here. We had Nicky Johns on the show last week, and he spoke very highly of you and the trust. He's one of our 4 keepers or number ones who will feature in an evening with Lions number ones on the last Thursday of February to raise funds for the Millwall Community Trust. How are ticket sales progressing, and what can fans anticipate, and what will the funds be allocated for?
So first of all, I appreciate that from Nicky Johns. I did listen to your session with him. The reason why I've done the evenings were yes to raise funds for the community trust, but I always wanted to give a platform for former players to sort of tell their stories because I think football's very different from now compared to when like Nicky Johns, Brian Horn, and Brian King grew up. So it's very different. And I wanted to try and give a platform where the fans could appreciate the people that have played for us, but also listen to some great stories they've got. So I'm hoping that all 4 of them are going to come up with some great stories about their journeys. And, I listened to the one around Nicky Johns where he talked about, turning up to play against Dartford, and at the end of the game, the bloke had offered him a professional contract at Millwall, and that doesn't happen nowadays, so it would be great to hear their stories. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. We sold around about 50 tickets, but it's not about the selling the tickets. It's about keeping those players in the view of the fans. And I just think everyone we've done so far has been great. Every one of them has been different. When we had the captain's evening was unbelievable. Neil Harris, Ben Thompson and Sean Williams the other couple of months ago. So I think this one's going to be very different as well because all the 4 keepers are from different eras. So, so Brian King he'll talk about his training, and then you got Andy Marshall talk about the FA Cup and, playing against Ronaldo and things like that. So I just love it. I was due to go on that day to the London Football Awards at Wembley, but I've chosen not to because I'd rather go to the goalkeeping evening to hear the players and see what they say.
Yeah, that's one to look forward to.
Very special. That's going to be very, very special.
Yeah,
it's Debbie again. Sean, Community Day is set for Saturday, the 15th of March, when we face Stoke City at the Den. Why should fans arrive early, and what can they look forward to seeing and doing?
They need to arrive even earlier now. I got notification today from Mark Fairbrother that the game has been brought forward to 12:30 kickoff.
Is it?
Right. Yeah. So we were hoping it. Yeah, we were hoping it was going to be at 3:00. Okay. So we're going to have to get in a lot earlier.
So what time?
So we're We will. I'm planning to have all the stalls. So what we're doing is we're having stalls set up, a bit like we did last year, of all the partners that we work with. So there'll be things like the Metropolitan Police, there'll be the DWP, Her Game 2. So setting stalls up of all the partners that we work with, so they can engage with some of our fans. We're going to have some football sessions going on in the Lions Centre. So some of our teams will be playing in there. So the military will be playing in there. Pan Disability, I think we're looking to invite some of the Southampton down to play against us. We'll have military football going on. We're going to have our walking football going on as well. We'll have the big fan zone as well with the big inflatables on inside as well for the young fans to come and use. And then what we're going to then do is we're going to have all the mascots will be participants of the trust, so the player mascots. All the flag bearers will be participants of the community trust. We're going to have about 800 to 1,000 tickets for our participants. And it's just going to be a day really of celebrating of what we do. We're going to be giving stuff out as well. So we've got swim bags, water bottles. We've got little stuff that goes in the pound of coins that go on the trolley. So we've got loads of them, wristbands, etc. And I think what we're going to try and do is we're going to, a couple of days before it, we're going to announce that it's going to bring £1 to the ground for the community trust. So we're going to ask every fan if they could bring £1 to the game and put it in one of our buckets for the people going around collecting. And all that money then will go to the community trust to keep up the work that we're doing within the local area.
Brilliant. You did such a fantastic job, all of you. Just do it.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
What time are you actually saying to get there, Sean?
We'll start at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'll kick everything off at 9 o'clock in the Lions Centre. We know fans won't be arriving till around about 10, half 10. So we'll have people out giving stuff away, bucket collections from about 10:30. But it'll be a great day. It's just a day of showcasing what we do. My trustees will be there as well, which is great for us.
Yeah, we're so proud of you. So proud of what you do. Thank you.
Sean, it's George again. Myles will be out that day collecting Vox Pops for a Maritime and our show. We aim to highlight some particular before the 15th and feature them on the monthly Maritime show on the 1st of March. And we obviously would be welcome to obtain some contact and facilitate from you, from contacts. If you could facilitate that for us, that would be great. And we'd come to you later on for them, obviously, mate.
No, anytime you want. And I've got trustees there, I've got officers that will be there, I've got different groups like the Romans will be there, the Lionesses will be there, the Girls Academy. So there'll be lots of our participants there. We're going to try and invite a lot of schools in there as well because we do a lot of work in the school, so we want them to come as well and celebrate the whole day. And then right at half time there'll be an opportunity for all the participants to walk around the pitch and clap all the fans. So
that'd be good. Yes, that'd be great.
Sean, is there anything you'd like to highlight to the listeners beyond what we discussed?
No, it's the community day is a big one for us at the moment. So we'll get the goalkeeping evening out of the way, and then we're all focusing on making community day the biggest one we've got. The players are the actual Maguire gliders coming off the shirt, and we're going to have community trust on that, and we'll auction them off at the end of the game. So it's community day is our big one. So we're all looking forward to that.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to being there with Maritime. Before you leave us, we've got Ted's Prediction League. Debbie is going to ask you to predict 3 scores in the Championship. These results will be collated at the end of the season, and we'll know which of our guests, hosts, panel, and regular reporters are the best score predictors of the season.
I was going to say the Prediction League is very good. We got the guests first place, which is your slot tonight, Sean. They're on top of the league on 31 points. So it's a lot to live up to tonight. No pressure.
I'll bring them down the league. Don't worry about that.
So here we go. Sean, what's your predictions for Millwall versus West Brom?
Need a bounce back from last night, I think. Wednesday night was, I think, a bit tough. So I'd like to see him bounce back. I think it'll be a close game, 2-1 to Millwall.
I like the sound of that. Cardiff versus Bristol City.
That's a good one. I think Bristol City lost during the week, didn't they? I'll give that a 0-0 draw.
And what about Middlesbrough versus Watford?
Again, two teams that Watford are struggling a little bit. Middlesbrough need a bounce back as well, so I'm going to go 1-0 Middlesbrough. Sounds good.
Well, Sean, thank you very much for coming on, updating us about the Millwall Community Trust matters. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show, and we look forward for your March update. All the best to you and yours. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Thanks for all your support. Sure. Good night, everyone.
Cheers, thanks, Sean.
Thanks.
Bye, Sean.
We'll take a quick break there and hear from Ellie talking about Harvey's Den Cafe.
Hi Ellie, lovely to see you here up in Harvey's Den again. Tell me, what goes on? When are you here? What can we expect?
We're here Monday to Friday from 10:30 till 5 every day, open to the public. Everyone's welcome. We're open every match day from 11:30 till 2:30, and the girls up here are all lovely and friendly.
So what's on offer at the cafe these days?
We've got everything from chicken burgers to paninis to full breakfasts, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, soft drinks, snacks, everything you could need.
So it's all here, all available, a great team to serve it up to you. Well, what else can I say but carry on in Harvey's style here at Harvey's Den Cafe. And all the best to you, Ellie, and your team. And I look forward to coming up and enjoying some of the fare in not the far distant future. Well, in fact, I've already done that. The coffee is just superb. Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Eamon.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Debbie Julians and George Lampey. From Monday to Friday and on Saturday match days, come along and greet the team at Harvey's Den Cafe, located on the first floor of the Lions Centre on Ballina Road, which houses the Millwall Community Trust. Now then, let's hear from Ellis Barr.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Come on, Millwall, indeed. Well, first up, let's hear from Paul Loding, who brings us the Millwall Romans and Pride updates.
Hi, it's Paul Loding at the Millwall Romans with a quick update for the week. Firstly, congratulations to the Millwall side for smashing Leeds last weekend. What a great result. This could be Millwall's journey to Wembley. We look forward to attending that this year. Obviously, still a long way to go. Fortunately, can't be the same for the Romans. Travelled up to Liverpool last Saturday to play Mersey Marauders. Mersey, good side. They are creating waves in the GFSN. They're top of the league at the moment. I think they've won pretty much all their games, drawn one, and haven't lost anything this year. So we weren't really sure. We haven't played them for a couple of years. Wasn't really sure what we were getting ourselves into, but we knew that they were going to be a good side. The game kicked off and we didn't really turn up. They were a big physical side. Some skill in the midfield from them, but nothing really that we felt we can deal with. But they were winning their individual battles, which is where we weren't in the first half. They managed to score in the first half after about 20 minutes with a 30-yard strike, one of their only two chances in that first half. And it just went over goalkeeper Pete's head, unfortunately. At half-time, our sort of opinion was we just need to win our individual battles. We need to get out there and actually, really get involved with the game. And it started to work. A lot more possession, a lot more play in the Mersey half. Substitute Bass coming on and scoring a goal from a long throw-in, making it 1-1. And that's where the game sat until the last 2 minutes of the game or so, with the referee making a poor decision and giving a corner to Mersey when it should have been a goal kick. Unfortunately, we didn't defend it. A good header from the striker, literally in the last minute or minute and a half of the game. Really felt it was going to go to penalties. So massively devastating to go out in that semi-final again. But they are a good side. We did match them. It should have been our game, and we'll go again next year. Looking forward to this weekend. Both teams are back in action on Sunday down at St Paul's, with Romans kicking off at 1 o'clock and Pride kicking off about 2:30, 2:45-ish. Both against Titans, the two Titans teams. Titans challenging for the league last year with the Romans. They'll certainly be a good side. And the other Titans, again, still quite good against Pride. So we've got the whole afternoon there at St Paul's Sports Grounds down in Rotherhithe. And looking forward to this Saturday as well, with West Brom versus Millwall at the Den, and the dedicated fixture for Football versus Homophobia Month. I mentioned this last week. There's a lot of activities going on and filming of different players and about experiences about homophobia within football. A few of us will be heading down there, say, on Saturday to watch that game. For the predictions, disappointingly, Eamon did send me around the current prediction league table, which shows me as second from bottom. I'm obviously not very good at this, but I'm still going to think big. I'm going to say Millwall, West Brom. The Romans are going to be there. We've always good luck mascots for them. Let's say 3-0 to Millwall. Cardiff versus Bristol City. I think Cardiff will take that 1-0. Middlesbrough, Watford. I'm going to say Middlesbrough 1-0 as well.
Amazing. Right, there was the Lionesses game last week was cancelled. That was meant to play Welling in a behind closed doors friendly, but that was cancelled due to poor pitch conditions, and they'll face Ashford United away this week. The Lionesses game was cancelled, and we will let you know who they face next at the end of the show. We face West Bromwich Albion at the Den on Saturday for a 3 p.m. kickoff. West Brom have won only one of their last 12 visits to Millwall in the Football League. In fact, they've drawn 3 and lost 8. They're winless on the road in the Championship in their last 8 games, having drawn 4 and lost 4, and could lose 3 successive games for the first time since January 2024. Following our recent run of results, you would have thought our odds to win would be far ahead of West Brom's. However, the odds for Millwall to win are 6-4, a draw is 23-10, and a win for Albion is 6-4. These odds indicate a closely contested game as anticipated at the Den. Briefly, guys, is it home win or something else? In making your score prediction, remember you cannot predict the same as each other or Ted. What are your predictions, guys? Dave, Debbie, what do you reckon?
I'm going to say West Brom 2-1, and I'm going to say Cardiff 3-1, and Bristol City 2-1.
Ted, sorry.
Hang on.
To us, of course.
Ted's already taken 2-1 for our game.
Oh, yeah, Ted's already taken 2-1.
For which one? For West Brom?
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying. I'll go 3-1 as well. We're always the optimistic. We've got to go up after the last game, so there you go.
George?
I was going to wait for 3-1. Debbie, you know rotter.
Oh, sorry.
Right, I'm going to go big time. Yeah, I'm going to go 4-0 to the Lions. I'm going to go Cardiff Bristol 2-2, and Middlesbrough and Watford 3-1. Has 3-1 already gone to?
No, you're safe.
No, you're safe right. There.
So 3-1 to Middlesbrough.
And Dave, what about you, mate?
Oh well, I'll take a 2-0 for Millwall. Bristol City and Cardiff, I'll go 0-0. And Middlesbrough 1-0.
Amazing.
So pleased I went first.
Dave, just to confirm, I can predict my own predictions, can't I?
They can't be the same.
Can't be the same, right? Okay. I forgot what everyone else said.
You just go and I'll tell you if you're okay.
Hey?
I'll tell you what's got Millwall. You've got 3-1, 2-0, 4-0, and 2-1.
Okay, in that case, Millwall versus West Brom, 1-0. No?
1-0, yep.
Yep, is that right? Yep.
Do you want the scores for the others?
Yeah, Cardiff.
Cardiff, we've got 3-1, 0-0, 2-2, 1-1.
We'll go 1-0 with that one as well then, to Cardiff.
Okay. And Middlesbrough, we've got 2-1, 1-0, 3-1, and 2-0.
Then we'll go 3-1 to Middlesbrough for that one, please.
That's already gone, 3-1.
I thought I had 3-2. I'll go 3-2 then.
Right, there you go. Great.
Good. Yeah, it's confusing doing that. All part of the fun. Thanks for that, but do we have any brief thoughts on our game away to Preston on Tuesday? Debbie?
Brief thoughts, I do. Preston, they won their last game, and I think we can only see how they're going to go on Saturday with their results. But I think, and also how we're going to get on. But I've got. I think we're going to have to come up. We can only go up after 5-1 after our last game. So I've got high hopes. I think we're going to do well after this. So yeah, let's go. I'll go 2-1.
Amazing. Let's hope so. Dave?
Oh yeah, Preston's a ground that we are fairly good when we play there, but we've won quite a few times. I'm not sure yet the exact figures, so I'll agree with what Debbie's just said. It does depend on what we do the weekend, but I think if we get back on track, a win is really on the cards. And what did you say, Debbie? 2-1?
2-1.
I'd say I'll go. We'll take a 2-0 win there.
And what about you, George?
Well, I'm slightly different to Dave because I always think Preston we have a fairly hard time at Preston. I always play fairly well. I think we'll come away with it. If we'd come away with a draw, I'd be happy there. So I'd go about 1-1 for that.
Oh, George, you nicked mine. That was my reasoning as well. Well, I'll go 2-2 then, because I do think we always draw against Preston away, don't we? Really? So yeah, 2-2. I'll go. We also got predictions from Nick Wythe of the Millwall Facebook Sicily site. Let's hear what Nick predicts.
Hi everyone, this is Nick Wythe, and these are my predictions. Millwall 2, West Bromwich Albion 0, Cardiff 2, Bristol City 1, and Middlesbrough 1, Watford 1. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Nick. He's concentrating on that prize that he sees within his grasp from Ted.
Yeah, he's in second place.
Read the results, couldn't he?
Dave, we must thank you, mate, because you do collate the results, and I only ask the questions and I get confused. So well done, mate.
Yeah, excellent job there, Dave.
Yeah, very clever out, Dave.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Grammar school education.
Yeah, he got that in. Notice he got that in. He's a grammar school boy, Dave.
Well, that, as always, is hilarious with the added handicap of not being able to make the exact prediction as each other. But for now, we'll listen to Phil Coleman, who's got his tales from the renamed Brut Room.
Yay!
Hello everyone, Phil Coleman here again with some more stories from the Boot Room, or as it's now been called, the Brut Room. And today's is all about travel. I've recently gone back into coaching with the team in the National League, and I was asked what it was like to travel to games back in the day. When I first started out as a pro in the late 70s, our travel was mainly on a coach and with Blueways from Battersea. Tony was our driver. He was mad. I remember him basically not letting anyone in. He got us to the ground safe, but yeah, he made sure that nobody overtook us and undertook us. We also took a chef on board, and while we were playing the game, the chef used to use the fridge and the cooker and the microwave and everything at the back of the coach, and he'd do us all our food. So straight after the game, we'd be on the coach, and the beer, the wine and the food would be ready, and we'd travel on down the motorway. Tables, chairs, comfortable seats. I recall plenty of games of cards and a bit of music to while away the time while we went up and down the country. Normally on a Friday, left at 1 o'clock, got to a hotel 6, 7 o'clock and had an overnight stay. For some reason, George Petty, Terry Long and John Jackson, the goalkeeper, they seem to be really good at cards and fleeced us youngsters. We got to train from time to time. The two ones that we got to train to were Plymouth and Carlisle. Often we come back on the train after the game and the fans would be on the train. And we got on quite well, particularly if we won. And I remember some fans even hitched a ride back on the team bus. It may well have been the Kevin and Deji Kempster. They spring to mind. Plenty of cans of beer on the coach. They were all full up, if you know what I mean. And they went out the roof hatch. overnight stays were great. You had different room partners. Some used to snore, and I'm not going to say who. We had the odd water fight in the hotel, lots of fun going on overnight, but we all woke up fresh in the morning, ready for action. And even back then in the 70s and 80s, we didn't have too many long 5 or 6 hours sitting on the coach the day of a game, leaving at 8 in the morning on Saturday. There was some in my career, and I remember when I was at Colchester United, one trip was brutal. We left Colchester and went to Newcastle, 7 hours up, played the game, got a 1-1 draw in the FA Cup, and 7 hours back, so that was 14 hours on a coach in one day and played a game. These days, players don't know they're alive, really. They fly to games, they've got luxury coaches, they've got the best of hotels and food before and even after games. But, it was tough back in my day. But the club, to be fair, made sure we were looked after with, Blue Ways travel, chef, good food on the way home, and train travel when we needed it. But I'd also like to just mention today with this little piece, I've just been reminded it's just over a year since Ted Buxton passed away. At the ripe old age of 90. Bless you, Ted, because it was Ted that brought the schoolboy forms round to my parents and my house when I was 15 years and 3 months old. And he convinced me to give up Arsenal, give up Charlton, and sign for my boyhood club. And what a career Ted went on to have after that. Brought up in the Docklands, South Londoner, did national service. I think he was a butcher's boy. He was scouting for Millwall in the 70s alongside Bob Pearson. He was coaching as well. And he went on to work alongside the great Terry Venables, being assistant to him with the England first team job. So rest in peace, Ted. Always remember you and your nickname. We nicknamed him Busy. He'd walk in the change rooms and the boys would bzzz. He got round to everybody. He found out what was going on. He told everybody what was going on. But, thoroughly likeable bloke was Ted. Yeah, he's missed. But I recommend his book as well. So Ted Buxton's My Life in Football. Recommended read, because it's not only about football, it's about his life and his travels all over the country and all over the world. So, recommend reading Ted's book. Catch up soon, people. All the best.
Thank you very much. We'll take a break there and hear from Harvey Brown talking about the Lions Food Hub.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub by the Esse 16 bar at Coldblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
Thanks for that, Harvey, and happy birthday for Monday. I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us talking team of Dave Hart, Debbie Julians and George Lampey. The Food Hub still needs donations to meet the needs of the community. Please bring financial and food donations to the Lions Food Hub within the fan area at the back of the Coldblow Lane stand. Our second guest had quite some heritage as a Millwall fan, a local lad who was educated at the same college as Adam Lookman, Romain Esse, and had another 20 footballers, with the only one being Millwall fan Lord Kennedy. Even Eamon Dunphy coached there, and Kelly Maloney, before she transitioned, was educated there. Tonight we have another successful student and Millwall fan. Let's welcome Mick Caulfield. Hello, Mick.
Hi, Miles. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Very good. Hello, Mick.
Good. Mick, it's great to have you on the show. That was all about St Thomas the Apostle near Queen's Road, Peckham. It's been a while since you joined us. Could you remind us of your Millwall heritage? Why, when, and how did you become a Millwall fan?
Well, from the age of 3 to 13, I lived on Pomeroy Square, which was just off Pomeroy Street. And that's about a quarter of a mile from from both ends, really. And my dad took me to my first game in January '65, and I think it was the only game he ever went to at Millwall, actually. He was into boxing mainly, but it was the FA Cup third round replay when we were in the 4th division against Fulham, who were in the 1st. And we played them, I think it was the 3rd round of the Cup,
We played them at Craven Cottage on the Saturday and drew 3-3. And then on the Monday, played down at Den, and we beat them 2-0. And they had Johnny Haynes and George Cohen, Bobby Robson. We had Davey Harper, Barry Rowan. I mean, Len, your dad, Debbie, he didn't play in the replay. He played in the first game. So I'm guessing he was probably injured for the replay. But yeah, the only thing I remember, I mean, I was about 8 at the time. The only thing I remember, my dad put me over the little wall that we had onto the red ochre. And I remember Harry Cripps taking a corner. And that was about it. I mean, there was about 35,000 odd there. And that was it. I was hooked, line and sinker, and I haven't stopped going since, really. So, yeah, that's how it started for me. Like I say, though, it was fascinating. My dad never went again. So, there you go.
Evening, Mick, it's Dave here.
Hi, Dave. You all right?
Yes, I am, thanks. It's great to hear you talk about the Fulham game. George and myself, we went to both of those games when we were teenagers back then. Yeah, great times. Anyway, let's get on with it. We've seen Gary Rowett leave, and Joe Edwards stepped up to replace him. Edwards excited after a brief and successful stint in charge. Then Neil returned to us and saved us from relegation. But although Neil started the new season, things weren't quite right, and he left us in December, at which point his assistant, Dave Livermore, he took over until Alex Neil joined us at Christmas. What's your take on all of this? Is it the usual plague of football, or do you believe there's something fundamentally wrong with our setup?
I mean, I think it's been fascinating the past year and a half. I mean, Neil coming back was brilliant. I mean, he definitely saved us from relegation. But I thought we were doing okay first half of this season, I think him and James Berylson had a difference of opinion on really which way we were going to go. And clearly Berylson wanted us to have this head coach idea and then have various people helping out with buying and the current setup we have. And I guess Neil wasn't happy with that, and he did the right thing. I mean, he said, you know, I'm not going to work if I don't feel happy. And, you know, Alex Neil's come in, and up until this week, I thought he was doing all right. Hopefully it's just, you know, one game, and we're back beating Borough on, Albion, on Saturday. But, I mean, I'm not really bothered about how the club's set up, in the sense that if we're winning games, then it's the right system and it's the right setup. If we're progressing, which I think we have done for the most part since we came up, 5-6 years ago now, I think we're progressing on the pitch, and that to me is my criteria. Sometimes the football's brilliant to watch, sometimes it's not so brilliant to watch. And again, as long as we're progressing as a club, and I think we are, and I do hope Alex Neil can progress us even further. Maybe not this season, but certainly next season. I'd like to see us pushing for the playoffs, to be honest. So yeah, I'm fairly easily pleased. If we win, I'm happy. No matter what system we have or what setup we have.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Hello, Michael. George Lampey here.
George, you all right?
How are you? Yeah. And that story you told to Fulham, well, I think we were about 3-1 down at Fulham, and I said to Dave, come on, we're never coming back here, let's go. And he's never forgiven me since, to this day, actually, that they came back and drew 3-3. Yeah, he's moaned about it forever, but there you go. It's just a little side story.
I've just reminded him, yeah.
Yeah. We have a massive squad at the moment, which includes loanees, transfers from last summer and this large January transfer window that no one's ever seen the like of. Who of these joining us has inspired you, and do you think at this time that we're still missing Romain Esse?
I'll take Romain first. I mean, as mentioned, we both went to the same school at St Thomas's. I still think Romain is a work in progress. Clearly, Palace have bought him for potential, and I think he does have the potential. I don't really think that we're missing him in the sense that we have potential in a number of youngsters. You know, and Imaku, I really like seeing that lad Bangura Williams come on. Again, he looks like he could be another Romain Esse quite easily. So missing Romain? No, I don't think so. I'm surprised how many players we brought in, to be honest. But the ones I've seen, I do like Kramer. Although he lacks a little bit of pace, but that's understandable given he's really a centre half rather than a right back. But he's filled in brilliantly for Lenny and for Danny Mack. Kundal. Sorry, go ahead.
No, he's got good feet, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Good feet for a big man. You know, good skills on the floor. Sorry, mate. Go on, carry on.
It's all right. And Kundal, I like Kundal. He looks pretty good. But and then I've only seen Negi on TV. Looks good. But the others, it's difficult to know really. I do wonder. They're all very young, all of them. And I do wonder, you know, the end of the season, we're probably going to see a few go. Maybe the likes of Hutch and Murray Wallace will probably go, and that's probably right, given their age. But some of the other players that we have might go just because of the size of the squad. So I'll be interested to see how it works out, particularly come next season.
Yeah, it is all very interesting. Hi, it's Debbie here.
Hi, Deb.
Hi, it's really good to talk to you. It's the others actually; they were teenagers. I'm just about a year younger than you, obviously. And it's what was your most memorable cup tie over the years?
I'm gonna throw a curveball on this one completely.
Yeah.
January '95, we played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah.
And I think it was an FA Cup. Was it a replay? I can't remember now. But it was the fourth round of the Cup. And we were living, it was the replay. They drew 0-0 down the Den, and we then went to Stamford Bridge. And at the end of 90 minutes, it was 1-1. And we were actually living in Houston, in Texas.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, we were over there for a couple of years. I worked for Texaco for like 17 years and went over to the office over there. And towards the end of the 90 minutes, I phoned my brother-in-law back here in the UK, John, who I sit next to in Block 4. And I said, "What's the score?" And he said, "Well, it's 1-1."
He was at the game, was he?
Huh?
Was he at the game?
No, he was listening to it on the radio.
Oh, right. Okay.
I mean, you didn't have. I mean, mobile phones then were the size of a brick.
Oh.
So this was a landline, and he was listening to it on the radio. He said, "Well, it's going to extra time." I said, "Well, put the radio next to the phone." And I was in the office. I mean, it was about 2:00 in the afternoon in Houston, and it was an evening game here. So I sat there for the next 45 minutes, went through extra time, listening to it on the radio, And then Casey saved the final penalty, and we went through 5-4 on penalties. And it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But we then lost the next round to QBR, which was a shame.
Yeah.
But, there's been some great FA Cup games, and I went to the Tottenham in '67, both at the Den and at White Hart Lane, and that was a fabulous experience.
Yeah, you may not heard me, but I was talking about that earlier. I was talking about what made to me what was special about the FA Cup. Yeah, it is very special.
Yeah, and Plymouth showed that last Saturday, or whenever it was. I think it was Saturday, was it? Anyway, they showed it brilliantly, and I think we suffered the consequences a little bit in the league game. But there you go. Yeah, it'll be an interesting game at Selhurst, definitely, particularly as Romain may play.
So what was special to you about the FA Cup?
I like the tradition, and I heard Brian King on the programme a few weeks back, and the things that he was saying, I totally agree with him. That the idea that you now have an FA Cup that lasts from Thursday to Tuesday, which to me is bizarre. Maybe one or two games, but 3:00 on a Saturday, an FA Cup, and then to do away with replays, particularly for Dagenham and Redbridge. If they got a result at the Den, it would have been wonderful for them to have taken us back to East London, but it wasn't going to happen. And they're even talking, now about maybe even forgetting about extra time and just going straight to penalties. And you're just eroding the tradition all the time. And I just feel that that's not the right thing to do.
Yeah, it was special, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you don't. I think one of the influences on it is that you don't have a cup competition like this anywhere else in the world, and so people don't necessarily understand the tradition and the joy of seeing Plymouth beat Liverpool, or Millwall beat Everton, all those types of things, or even playing Man United at the Millennium Stadium. They're wonderful times particularly for clubs that don't get there every season.
Yeah. It's sometimes people don't get our traditions. It's a bit like pie and mash.
Yeah, very true.
Mick, before you leave us, we have Ted's Prediction League. I'm going to ask you to predict 3 scores in the Championship. These results will be collated at the end of the season, and we'll know which who of our guests, hosts, panel, and regular reporters are the best score predictions of the season. Please make your score predictions for, first of all, Millwall versus West Bromwich Albion.
I'm going to go 3-1.
To Millwall, I'll take it.
Yes, and Jed will probably score for West Brom.
And what about Cardiff versus Bristol City?
Well, I was thinking about this one. Our eldest son and his family live in Bristol, and his best friend is a Bristol Rovers fan. So although I think Bristol City might win this, I cannot say that they're going to win. So Cardiff 2-0.
Okay, and what about Middlesbrough versus Watford?
I'm going to sit on the fence and do a 1-1 draw.
Thank you very much for that, Mick. Sorry about that.
All right.
You might be fortunate enough to win a prize, and we appreciate you coming onto the show. We look forward to chatting to you again, and all the best to you and yours. Bye for now.
Thank you very much indeed, Myles. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, and
Cheers,
you guys. Cheers.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye now.
We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany explain how you can help and support the Mill Community Trust.
The Millwall Community Trust is something that I, Bethany Manctolo, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985 to provide sporting, educational, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. Donating to the Millwall Community Trust is easy. Visit their website and click on the Get Involved section. There are also sponsorship opportunities. To support this work, email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That's commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. If you can, please help them to continue their vital work.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Debbie Julians and George Lampey. If you can donate, it will help our Millwall Community Trust to deliver all of their programmes across all age groups within our community. We're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Myles Thornton will host next Friday's show with a panel of Henry Morgan, Phil Coleman and Jeff Burnedge.
Right, it's my go next, but I can't believe whoever laid this out. Debbie gets a couple of lines and I get a section like War and Peace. Who writes this? Right, there you go. Here we go. The Millwall Community Trust is hosting an evening with Lions number ones to raise essential funds for the Millwall Community Trust. This event will take place on Thursday, the 27th of February, in the Den's refurbished Harry's Bar, featuring a quartet of Millwall legends, Nicky Johns, Brian Horn, Brian Keane and Andy Marshall. In addition to hearing untold stories, attendees can meet and greet the former Lions in a casual and welcoming environment. Tickets are available now, priced at just £10 for all ages. The entrance fee includes a meal, sausage mash, potatoes, onion gravy, with a vegan option for our Pat if she's going, and pay bar facilities. All profits from the evening will support the Community Trust. The evening begins at 7 p.m. and concludes at 9:30. With limited spaces available, secure your seat before it's too late. To purchase tickets, visit the events section of the ticketing site or contact the Millwall Ticket Office on 0207 231 9999. I'll repeat that, 0207 231 9999. Good night, everybody. Well, there you go.
Millwall Lionesses take on Ashford United women in a league match at the Homelands Stadium, Kings North, TN 26 1NJ, this Sunday at 3:30. The Lionesses are eager to maintain momentum after a series of cancelled fixtures. Why not cheer them on as they strive to return to where they belong? That's good night from me.
You can listen to the No One Likes Us Talking team as they provide reports from our games, both home and away, for the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. You'll also receive updates on Millwall community matters on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM via their website. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, and all popular podcast sites. Thank you very much, Debbie.
Good night.
Thank you, Dave.
Cheers, Myles.
And thanks, George.
Good night, everybody.
And a big thank you to you all for tuning in. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night.
Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.